What is the greatest cause of stress in your life right now? Becoming a dad in about 3 months' time. Wife will be taking a year off as allowed by law. However, we'll only be earning about 60% of what we're used to. She's the breadwinner, we've got savings ready to go and no debt aside from our mortgage. I'm scared of unexpected expenses, but I think it'll all work out. Remodeling the house. I'm getting quotes from plumbers, carpenters, painters and decorators, electricians and hard landscapers, and trying to coordinate all the start dates. It would be far easier to hand it over to a builder to sort out and project manage, but the quote for having the all-in-one service was about 3 times as much as the individual quotes were. Having a university degree but hating it and working an unrelated uninteresting soul-crushing sales job to have money to be able to go out sometimes or maybe move. Also not knowing what I want to be in life, I lack so much direction, someone help. I have no idea how I'm supposed to pay for rent next month since I have no source of income. I lucked out this month with tax refunds being enough to pay for it plus what my parents can afford to help me with. My savings are up and I can't move back home because I go to school. Meanwhile, I also have pending bills from my last apartment, and my ex-roommate, who I spent a decent amount of my savings to cover while we lived together, has dropped all contact with me and is doing everything he can to prevent seeing me. The money he owes me could cover me for an entire month. TLDR, no income, bills to be paid, screwed next month, douchebag ex-roommate. Having to balance university, my job, family, friends, and starting a business. Trying to maintain a good relationship with those close to me without slacking on my job and business is draining me. Always feeling like I should be doing something important or working when the only thing I want to do is sleep. I don't know, but I am always stressed. It's like my body is seeking for stress and I make myself problems where no problems are. Life is really good actually, but there's always some kind of pressure in my chest. The company I work for just learned that its biggest client, a municipality, will not be renewing their contract with us, and I will most likely be out of work at the end of the month. I'm getting married in June and was just about to buy my plane tickets for our dream honeymoon. All of my plans have been turned upside down. Child support. It's based off of my old job salary. I make about 1/5 of what I did before. In the process of getting it changed, but until then I'm paying basically 95% of what I make in a year to child support. Got a night job to help until then. My ex-girlfriend. She lead me on and was manipulative, and I would never take her back, but she lives near me so I have to see her all the time, which makes getting 100% over her a much longer and more stressful process. Money and looming deadlines, coupled with depression. Money's tight, but that's starting to get better, but I've just been crippled by this lack of motivation lately as far as doing anything creative is concerned. I have a few projects that I'm on deadline to complete and I'm failing miserably because my mind is everywhere. I can't focus and I just shut down and start cleaning up the house so that I can feel productive while still procrastinating, which stresses me out even more because now those deadlines are even closer. Rant. I currently have none. Work is going good, life in general for me is looking good. It's been a rough couple years, but I really don't have a reason to be pissed or sad or anything. I even met a pretty girl yesterday, got her number and, oh, the stress is inbound. I'm having to deal with my parents in their late 70s. I have been living in the UK for a decade or more, so I accept they find me as different as I find them. But even though I'm returning to the house I grew up in, the whole vibe has changed and it is difficult walking on eggshells every step of the day. I quit my previous job a month ago without another one lined up due to the fact that I wanted to get out of that industry entirely. Now, I spend my free time thinking about what will actually make me happy, or at least not resent enough to become decent at it. I've had the flu for the past week and am just now getting better, so everything is compounded. I missed Easter with the family, I haven't seen my GF in a week and a half, I've been lethargic and hardly able to exercise. Let's just say I've been on edge. Moving around the world, literally, for my job. Granted, it's only a temporary assignment, for months, but that somehow makes it worse, because I have to worry about life back home as well as here in the new country. After 4 years of intensive therapy, I had my last session with my shrink on Friday. I have an open invitation to call her, but I don't want to need her help. I don't have to call her, I'm doing fine, but the more I think about the fact that she is no longer part of my safety net, the more I think I'm going to freak out. Waiting for my transfer applications to come back. I'm hearing everyone getting theirs back, people I know that are transferring as well. But mine are being taken to the end of April, and my friends ask me every time, hey frolic_with_me, have you heard from any schools yet, or family? It is starting to rip me apart because seeing everyone happy and in just sitting here clicking refresh on the school's application status shot because the people want to be there when I get the news. Money, or lack thereof, I am trying to get a mortgage on my home and my debt-to-income ratio is just shy of where it needs to be. I have the money for the down payment, I have the credit score, and I'm already living in the house I'm buying, and there's just a lot of pressure for this loan to go through before August, and it's just eating away at me. I applied for a job that I really wanted. 2 interviews and a trial shift later, and I still have no indication of whether or not I've got the job. The weekend has just finished, so I will probably hear from them soon, but my God, it has been torture just waiting. My dog had a slip disc a couple months ago that paralyzed his back half. I opted for surgery to try to fix it, and he was given 50/50th chance of recovering his walking and bladder control. 2 months later, he hasn't improved any. I am leaning more and more toward putting him down, partly because he is a lot of work to care for, but mostly because he is unhappy and no one wants to take a dog with urinary incontinence. It's so hard because he was such a happy pup before the accident. Only 5 years old. Friendliest dog you ever met. It's going to be a rough day when I do this. Coping with my ex. She had a lovely time cheating last year while I was trying to hold things together. We are now separated, sold the house, and all the legal stuff is done. The problem is, she now turns to me when anything goes wrong or she doesn't know what to do about something. Just today, she wanted a list of numbers for tradespeople we know and trust. She simply expects me to do this and gets pissed when I don't drop what I'm doing to suit her. She is moving in a couple of weeks and keeps dropping massive hints that I should be helping her more. She even wants one of our boys to stop physiotherapy on a dislocated shoulder so he can do the heavy lifting, then do the physio after her move, because she has a sore shoulder too every now and then she bumps heads with reality. I have a sow who has been nesting for the past 48 hours and is supposed to give birth anytime now. This is the first sow I've had to carry through a birthing process, and I'm really hoping it goes smoothly. I'm at university for computer science and physics. My family is so proud, but I don't really like it. Physics is fun, and I love technology, but I'd rather go to college for IT than continue with comp. SCI, and I don't think my family would understand. The fact that I still don't have a summer associateship for this summer. The 2L year 1 is really important and my grades aren't great, so I missed out on the good ones early in the year, and the one firm I was really trying to get into isn't doing an internship. I don't want to, but it looks like I'm going to have to work for the DA's office, or even worse yet, the PD's office. I don't want to do criminal law, but I want to be unemployed even less. My job and my life situation. Software analyst for a medium-sized software as a service company. I still live with my parents, 24M, because the house is only 10 minutes away from the office. I'm an IT professional at heart, but my job has nothing to do with IT infrastructure administration. I have no debt to my name and the money is good for the area, but I constantly feel like I'm stuck in my hometown, and being single is kind of depressing when I go out with my friends and I'm always the only one without a date. I'm super burned out from my job and it affects my personal life too. It's appraisal time at work. Been on the same salary for 3 years now as I am part of the family. Now it seems like there is a chance my grandfather's brother who runs the business might just try to screw me over and offer me a very subpar pay rise. Wondering if I will be able to pass the physical test to get into the Navy. And unknown if they will even want to hire me. It's like my only chance of getting a better trade, as no bosses want to hire a 28-year-old that already has a trade because the government doesn't give bonus to employers unless it's the apprentice's first trade. So I'm studying all I can about the job and trying to hit the gym as much as I can between work and family. Being a responsible adult. It's very easy, and I'm great at it, but working 50+ hours a week while taking 15 hours of grad school, applying for jobs and waiting for medical school interviews, and a long-distance relationship are starting to make me want a vacation. I am about to graduate and move across the country. I need a job, and a house, and a method for transporting my small amount of furniture across the nation since I am not 25 and can't rent a goddamn U-Haul unamused face. My bike has a flat. The fridge is empty. My parents are really sad I am moving far away. I can't sleep for more than 3 hours, going on a month of this BS now. I'm way overdue for an oil change. There is a wasp nest developing on my porch, but I don't have any wasp spray. They are getting more and more audacious. The toilet handle is broken, and I do not have time to fix it. TLDR, chaos now, stability later. So much anxiety. My mom's a health coach, thankfully, so she's been by my side while we're trying to figure out the deep cause and the remedy. I just want to be able to go out with my friends without having a panic attack, and so much of me wishes I could be a different, normal person, but nope. I'm me, and I have to fix me. For those also suffering from anxiety, drawing and coloring in adult coloring books has been very therapeutic for me. You should give it a shot. It's Passover and my picky eater can't have his staples, grilled cheese, pasta, etc. So mealtime takes forever to find something he'll eat. I think he's also sick with something since he woke up last night and felt like 120 degrees, although he woke up saying he was hungry, which I was expecting because all he ate before going to sleep was a yogurt for dinner. Passover is my worst holiday. The relative lack of stress is difficult for me to take. The last 5 years of my life have been so stressful that most things being under control feels like an interminable wait for the other shoe to drop. Finishing university and trying to find a good job in turn. This doesn't sound like a lot, but I don't have any family to fall back on financially, no parents or anything. So if I don't get a good job or intern over the next couple of months, while I still have some loan left, I'll probably end up in retail forever. Also, my ex-boyfriend moving out and my sister moving at the same time is pretty stressful, to be honest. University. I am doing a mandatory unpaid internship for 42 hours a week, have to write reports afterwards and also have to work on my thesis on the side. I'm absolutely blasted by the time I'm done with all that and basically just go to bed to do it all again in the morning. Also, I feel a little sick, but if I call in sick I have to make up my hours on the weekends. Getting myself ready to move out on my own away from my parents. It's exciting but pretty scary too, since I never lived away from them. Luckily, it's still the same city, so I can visit them or move back in if I don't like the place. I move out in a week. Having a kid in about 4 weeks. I can't really write a novel about how many things are stressing me out right now: money, responsibility, raising someone proper, censoring things, bedtimes, diapers, shitting pants. School. Everyone wants me to be a goddamn overachiever. They sent me to literally the second smartest high school in the US. Of course, I'm failing and probably can't get into a good college, and I have no idea what I want to do and all that. It's not that big of a deal to me, but it is to my parents, who will probably disown me. I've got this amazing internship, but it appears I'll need a master's if I want to make a career out of it. I stress because I want to go to school part-time for grad school, but I don't know how I'm gonna pay for it. Also, I graduate from undergrad in a month. I'm ahead of all my friends who have just finished school in terms of a career, but I feel like I've come to a standstill. Without an undergraduate degree, only college certificates, in my field. I feel like I will be passed over for promotion. Part of me wants to go back to school and finish my undergrad, but I don't want to lose my position at the company. I'm the youngest of 5 children, and I'm the only one so far who hasn't majorly screwed up my life. I'm just applying to Oxford University this year, where my parents have told me I'm going since I was 4, and the amount of pressure not to be a fuck-up is huge. Especially seeing as my oldest brother is 32 and I'm seen as the immature one. All I want to do is lock myself in my room and play Skyrim. Right now it's college. I'm buried under papers, readings, and final projects, and to top it all off I have to pick my courses for next semester in a few weeks, and I have no idea what I'm going to take. I'm already a year behind in my courses because I changed majors, but now everyone is telling me to look for internships and building a resume, etc. etc. Honestly, I just want to scream my head off. Living at home because I don't have a full-time job, and I feel like learning things to get one is a waste of time when every entry-level job posting says that you must have work experience with 100 different things. Just knowing them doesn't seem to matter. I want to go to med or PA school, or maybe not. Either way, I'm barely scraping by. I should have done better in school. Why did I do this to myself? I'm just so sick of being scared and stressed out. Laser Optics and Photonics comes with a book that tries to fit as much information with as little organization as possible, and examples that pull numbers from there as far as I can tell. And then there are the labs. I was never good at labs, and then these come along, and for the most part are to me just find some numbers then try to drag out a conclusion from it despite not having a clue what should be said. Myself, I hate to just be a mediocre person who is afraid to do stuff because it seems too hard. I hate my current self, and I hate that I'm stuck in this position of not doing anything with my life and keep wasting precious time that I'll never get back. I want to snap out of this just getting by phase and start doing things and getting to a place in which I'm happy with things. I feel extremely disappointed in me, and I only complain, but as much as I go to bed promising to change for the better, in the morning I'm the same lame person and lack motivation. I don't have an answer, and don't know where to even begin looking for one. Been cynical and finding buts in every single thing don't help either. Trying to live the productive, positive life I've made for myself over the past year while continuing to say nay to depression. It's overwhelming at times, but things are so much better now that it's worth it. ADHD too strong. I want to work, I have the desire to work. I have a great job, but it takes more focus and willpower than I can muster to stay on task without medicine. But the medicine gives my tinnitus and general ill at ease. Also bloodborne. Working a temp job that I'm close to 90 days in hours and knowing we are moving to another state at the end of the month. How do I give notice without losing what I have? Sure could use the extra cash working 2 more weeks would give. My father's sudden death. He recently got diagnosed with AFib, which isn't the worst thing in the world, but it puts him at a higher risk of stroke. We haven't been on the greatest terms for a whole now, so I'm perpetually terrified that he's gonna drop dead and we'll leave things where they are. But I'm in college working through a bachelor's in architecture and playing in a band that's gaining momentum. I don't have the time to reconnect right now. School. I'm 1 semester away from an undergraduate degree in mechanical engineering, and we're 3 weeks away from the end of this semester. I love what I'm doing, but this is definitely the high-stress time of year. That, and figuring out what I want to do after undergrad. We'll see. Stress, but good stress. Gonna be moving to another state with my girlfriend in a couple months. Already have a job lined up, but we still need to figure out the logistics, costs of actually getting up there and finding a place to live. I'm sure it will all get figured out, but yeah, just a little stressful. Money. Every time I get a few hundred in savings something pops up. Car breaks down or a medical bill and boom, savings empty and maybe a bit onto the credit card because there wasn't enough. So hard to get ahead. Everything LOL. If school is too busy, I'm stressed. If school is light, I'm worried about what I should be doing. I'm working too much, but it's not enough hours to eat consistently. I've been getting sick for the past 4 weeks and I'm pretty that's just stress. I can't afford to get sick, I have a recital in a few weeks. There is no chill in my life. Ooh yes. I'm doing so bad in most of my classes. It sucks so much. Working on a take-home exam that my teacher gave us, but he's the most picky little bastard ever. No one got above a C on the last take-home he gave us. Then I have like 2 papers, and 2 specimen collections, sad face. I'm sorry man, like many others I've had this happen to me. Many years ago my first love broke my heart and it took me a very long time to get over her. It sucks and it's going to hurt, but eventually you will emerge stronger and will be a better person for it. Just keep on trucking. I'm going through the same thing right now and it sucks. The only advice I can offer is find something productive to take your mind off of this person. For me, it's LOL, I guess productivity is subjective. That's how I have been able to cope with me just not letting go of this feeling that's deep inside me for so long. I just forget about it. The bad part though is when it comes back, it hits me like a truck. See, the trouble with that is that I do everything I can to get my mind off her. New hobbies, video games, fixing computers, building guitar pedals, painting, drawing, writing music. But she's always in the back of my head. It's really upsetting to read this. My best friend was diagnosed with schizoaffective disorder a couple of years ago, and over that time basically everyone in her life abandoned her except me. She thankfully has qualifications as a nurse and an understanding workplace. She has managed to make new close friends who are loyal and spend a lot of time with her. I hope things improve for you. I'm currently in the same situation as you. I started seeing a therapist for my social anxiety last November and she recommended that I get medication for my depression and anxiety. I've been on antidepressant for a month, and along with seeing my therapist, things are getting better gradually. I actually believe things will get better for me, which is something I couldn't imagine just a few months ago. I went from being afraid going to grocery store to saying hi or good morning to strangers, which is a huge accomplishment. Your situation is not impossible to overcome. Please consider subscribing if you enjoyed. Love.